Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me this week. So I'm going to do things a little bit differently. I am going to read to you guys the passage that inspired me to do this video, and then we're going to talk a little bit about it, okay? This passage is from a book that I've been reading. The girl that I'm currently talking to loaned it to me because I told her that about my biggest fear being death. And the book is mainly about death and just living life to the fullest in order to just feel fulfilled before you die. So yeah, here goes. It's called Tuesdays with Maury, by the way. Highly recommend it. If you hold back on the emotions, if you don't allow yourself to go all the way through with them, you can never get to being detached. You're too busy being afraid. You're afraid of the pain. You're afraid of the grief. You're afraid of the vulnerability that loving entails. But by throwing yourself into these emotions, by allowing yourself to dive in all the way, over your head even, you experience them fully and completely. You know what pain is. You know what love is. You know what grief is. And only then can you say, all right, I've experienced that emotion. I recognize that emotion. Now I need to detach from that emotion for a moment. So this applies to a lot. I know he mentions love, grief, vulnerability, and those are, I feel, those are the main feelings that we go through, in all honesty. But I feel like this applies to everything, with holding on to a relationship or not trying new things or letting people bring us down. We are so stuck in our heads over being liked or being the correct person people want us to be, or even just like, you know, back in the day when people would be like, be a man, men don't cry. And then with time, everyone started saying, hey, it's healthy for a man to cry, because in doing so, he's dealing with his emotions and he's able to hold a relationship and to be more understanding and more empathetic. I feel like once you fully feel an emotion, it's easier, not easier, but you're more capable of understanding others. And not only that, but like he said, detaching from that emotion. It's like, okay, I just went through something with someone who everyone told me that person manipulates you, that person, you know, like is just doing what they want with their lives, and they're just tagging you along and things like that. And I detached from that person in one way. But up until recently, I figured that I had to detach from that person in all ways possible, because that person was hurting me by being who they were. But I couldn't detach from that person. I couldn't let go of that person because I was so afraid of losing things. I was so afraid of feeling all the feelings that that person made me feel. I always had this wall up saying, no, that's not what's going on. That's not what this person is doing. Because if I did admit that to myself, then I have been wrong about my friendship all along. I have been wrong about many things. And we don't want to feel stupid. We don't want to be wrong. We don't want to feel like we're not loved or capable of being loved. But life, I find it, is too short to not feel everything. And in order for us to feel happiness, I've found, you have to truly feel all your anguish and your pain and all those negative feelings. You have to feel them in order to understand them, in order to tackle them and work through them, and to then let go. You can't move forward if you're so scared of moving forward. And in order to move forward, you have to let go of all the baggage that you have with you. It's just how it is. So in order for you to be happy and healthy, you have to feel whatever it is that you're feeling, and it's okay. Now, hey, but what about if you are depressed or bipolar or schizophrenic or anything or whatever, or anxious? Feel it. Feel it. It's okay to feel your emotions, regardless of the fact that you have all these mental health issues or emotional issues. Why? Because you're feeling it for that second. You allow yourself to feel it. If you have to, I suggest, for people like me, feel it in private. Maury, in his book, he says, the guy is terminally ill, and his pupil, which I should know the name of the author, but I know the name of the protagonist. Protagonist, whatever. So Maury says to his student, of course I feel sad, and of course I feel bad for myself because I am dying. Who wouldn't, So he says, I do let myself feel those emotions. I wake up and sometimes I feel sad and I'll cry. I will go ahead and cry. And after I'm done crying, I tell myself, okay, I felt that. Now I can continue on with my day. And it takes a lot of energy, courage, strength to do that. Because it's so much easier to suppress your feelings and act like nothing is wrong than for you to dive in head on, feel it, and work on it. Because how much more beautiful would it be for us to just be okay, for us to be perfectly fine, than for us to admit that we have some flaws or some pain or trauma to go through and take that time to do so. So guys, the message for this week: feel your emotions. It is more than healthy for you to feel your emotions. You have to feel your emotions to understand what that feels like and to let them go. You want to go through with it, but you can't because you're so scared. So just feel it, because what's the worst that can happen? Nothing. No one has died from feeling their feelings, People have committed suicide and things like that from trying to not feel their feelings, from trying to not live their truth and their authentic lives. That's what could happen. So feel whatever you have to feel in order for you to, when it's negative, let it go, so that you can move on to happier experiences and better experiences. So again, guys, when you're feeling like you don't understand what's going on inside of you, which happens to me quite often, I sometimes talk. Sometimes we don't understand what we're feeling because it's not something that's organic to us. And I say for everyone it's different, which I've always told you guys. Some people need to journal, some people meditate, some people hike, some people go to the gym. Talk to yourself, figure out what the issue is, what you want to feel, and then feel it. I've told you guys in the past, my issue is that I would feel like I'm angry when in fact I'm sad. Sometimes we confuse our emotions because we're so used to one, and it's easier to feel that emotion. We know that emotion. Again, we know that emotion, so we adapt that emotion so we can feel it and then hopefully let it go. Let's feel the appropriate emotion, please. Let's go through the feeling that we're actually feeling so we can accurately and in a more healthy way deal with it and let go. Okay? That was my spiel for this week. I hope that this helps you guys. I really do recommend the book. And yeah, follow me, hit like so you guys can see my videos every week. Next week I'm probably gonna do a one of my poems for you guys because I haven't done that in a while. Okay, love you guys. Bye. Be healthy, be safe, be loved.